Hello. Today we're going to talk about partial derivatives. So, one way to think about partial derivatives is deriving based only on x, y, or z, or whatever we are asked for, meanwhile having the others. So, we can derive based on x while our function includes x, y, and z. So, let's look at an example, and maybe to make more sense. So, f of xy equals 1 plus x plus 3y. So, deriving based on x will be, so 1 becomes 0, right? X becomes 1. So, what happens to 3y? Because we're deriving based on x, so if you have 3y, 3z, 3w, 3d, whatever it is, it's a random number. So it's the same as 1. So because of that, y is going to become a 0. Now let's derive based on y. So 1 is 0. So x, since we're deriving based on y, x is just as 1 or 10 or 20. It's just a number. So it's going to become 0. Because if we derive 20, since it doesn't have like an x or y next to it, it's 0. And 3y becomes 3. Now one thing to make sure is look at the notation. It is very important to write it down correctly. Whenever you want to write based on y, you're gonna write that y here and y here. When of x, x here and x here. Okay. Problem number 2. F of xy equals xy plus x squared multiplied by e to the power of y. Alright, so now we're going to derive based on x. Okay, x multiplied by y. So let's write f here, g is y, derivative of x is 1, derivative of y is 0 because we derive based on x. Remember from the previous example, right here. So, basically here we're doing the product rule. So we're going to have 1 multiplied by y plus x multiplied by 0, which is 0. So we left y. Plus, now we have, again, we're doing the product rule. F is x squared, g is e to the power of y, f prime is 2x, and g, since it's with y again, it's going to become 0. So basically we're going to have 2x e to the power of y plus x squared multiplied by 0 is 0. So we're going to left with that. So the answer is going to be y plus 2x multiplied by e to the power of y. Okay, now let's derive based on y. Again, make sure you write the notation right. Okay, so we have f is x, g is y. So in this scenario, x is going to become 0 because it's a number we're deriving based on y, and y becomes 1. So 0 multiplied by y is 0, plus x multiplied by 1 is x, so we're gonna be left with x, plus f is 2x, f is x squared, g is e to the power of y, f squared is 0 since we derive based on y, and g prime. You remember e of x, when we derive it, it stays e of x, so e of y is the same. So derivative of e of y is e of y. We're gonna have 0 multiplied by e of y is 0 plus x squared multiplied by e of e to the power of y. So the result is gonna be x plus x squared to the power of e of y. X plus x squared multiplied by e to the power of y. Right, let's look at our next example. F x of y, x divided by y, plus x squared plus y, x squared, sorry, multiplied by y, plus y multiplied by e to the power of y plus x plus 2. Okay, that's a long one. Let's just take it step by step. So let's derive it based on x. Okay, so we're gonna have the quotient rule. We're gonna have f is x, g is y, f prime is 1, and g prime is gonna be 0 because we derive it based on x. So we're gonna have y minus 0 divided by y to the power of 2, which is y divided by y to the power of 2, which gives us 1 over y. So we have 1 over y plus, now we're gonna do f is x squared, g is y, so f prime is 2x, g prime is 0, so we're gonna have 2xy plus x squared multiplied with 0, 0, so we're left with 2xy, so 1 over y plus 2xy, and then since it's all e's and we derive based on x, it disappears, x is becoming 1 and 2 disappears. So that is the answer. So now let's derive based on y. Okay, so I'm gonna have again the quotient rule. F is x, g is y, f prime is gonna be 0 now, and g prime is gonna become 1 because we're deriving based on y. So basically we have 0 multiplied by 1 is 0, 0 multiplied by y equals 0, minus x multiplied by 1 is x, divided by y squared, so it's minus x, or divided by y squared. So we're gonna write it down. Plus, now we're gonna do the product one. F equals x squared plus y, sorry, x squared, g is y, f prime is 0, g prime is 1, equals 0 multiplied by y is 0, x squared multiplied by 1 equals x squared, so plus x squared. Now we're gonna have another product one. F is y, g is e to the power of y, f prime equals 1, g prime equals e to the power of y. So now we're gonna have y multiplied by e of y, which is e of y, plus y multiplied by e of y. So we're gonna add it to the answer, plus e of to the power of y plus y multiplied by e of y. So this is gonna be minus x divided by y squared plus x squared plus e to the power of y plus y e to the power of y. And that is the answer.